Volkanovski versus Makhachev, I'm purposely avoiding that for now. That's a meaningful wait. There's plenty of time. There's other things coming up. Volkanovski has not been perfect in his career at marketing everything. Islam has not been perfect within his career of marketing anything. So, guys, are you aware of what we have in our hand right now? I mean, are you aware of what we've got? You think of another time in this sport's history, you got it, and you got it that fast. And you got it that damn fast. Volkanovski, I apologize. Islam got the belt put around him, and Volkanovski was face-to-face, and Dana made the fight. You tell me the time that's happened. You couldn't go back. Do you remember the rigmarole we had to go through to get Bisping and St. Pierre in there together? Do you remember how long we had to wait to get Amanda in there with Cyborg? I mean, I could play this game all day. Do you know what we got handed to us? Because I'm feeling as though you actually don't. Makhachev is the favorite. Now, isn't that interesting? Considering Makhachev should not have been a number one contender. Considering Makhachev didn't beat the right guys to even fight for the championship. Isn't that interesting that he is now the favorite to the point that some people are dismissing? Some people are dismissing what we have here. I don't mind that if somebody's right. That's the reason we sent him out there. I don't mind that. If one guy can kick the other guy's out right, if that's not a competitive match, that could be any match that we see. I'm okay with that. That's between them. What I would like to have a little bit of congeniality is within the people that speak about our sport. I will just give you an example. Somebody's wrong and somebody needs to take the weight. Have you guys been following polls? I don't make political statements. Everybody have been following the polls for the last number of times. A lot of pundits are coming out and saying, hey, why are we hiring these pollsters? They don't know what they're doing. They're not even close to right. Well, it's kind of their job to be right. It's a fair question. I don't want to take somebody's livelihood away, but it's a pretty fair question. Why are you so far off? If I'm trusting you and I'm wanting you to be right, and by the way, I'm parting with my money, it must be pretty good money if you only got to go to work once every 4 years and you can stay afloat. Why am I doing that if you can't tell me who's right? It is a fair and reasonable question. So where's the congeniality within our sport? Because the ranking system could not be clearer, and they had the right to change it. Every Tuesday by 9 a.m., well, there's been 4 Tuesdays and 4 9 a.m.s that rolled around. And they say that Volkanovski is overall the best fighter in the world. And that isn't a matter of he had it and he doesn't become eligible for reduction until he loses. We used to think that. And that used to be, there'd be really good reason to think that. But Volkanovski took it over Kamaru Usman, and Kamaru had never been beaten. So I'm just sharing, we got confronted with that's not the way it works. They're going to go in there and they're going to get this thing right. Even if we had it wrong last week and nothing has changed, but we have a new opinion, we're going to go out and we're going to get it right. And I think those things matter. And you want to know why I think that one matters? Because we in our sport adhere to it. We don't agree on anything in this sport. The red corner and the blue corner, they're never coming together. Except on that, we stand down. We don't know who does the ranking. We don't know if that's a group of people, or if that's a person, or it's a computer program. Like what the CBS used to go through in college football. We don't know. Nobody's revealed it to us, but we also don't care. We respect it. Every time. If you get ranked number 1 in the world, pound for pound, we all will call you number 1 current pound for pound. I've never seen where the statement I just made not be true. I can't think of one time. I'm thinking of some voices in this sport. I cannot think of one time where we've ever gone against that. For whatever reason, I couldn't share why that's the one thing we all agree on, but we do. We do. Potentially because we all wanted it. This is because we were all fighting for it. We were all hoping to get it. And if our number ever did come up, we would want to be recognized. So we just showed a sportsmanship and did it to everybody else. But it's the one thing that we get, and they've got Volkanovski as number one. So, are they wrong? Are they the pollsters? Are they the pollsters that shouldn't be here, that we shouldn't be hiring, that we shouldn't trust? They don't have to adhere to some type of, we put him at number one and he hasn't been beat, so we've got to leave him there out of respect. No, we don't have to do that. As a matter of fact, Khabib went on TV and asked you for it and you gave it to him. Rightfully so. Jon Jones came back and fought with Khabib to get the spot back and you gave it to him. Rightfully so. Like, these are good arguments. I mean, these are strong guys. We just now know that this has some moving parts. This has a little bit of flexibility. It's a little bit elastic, but you have Volkanovski as number one. So how do we put that and how do we reconcile that with DraftKings, by example, who doesn't have Volkanovski as the favorite? How do we reconcile that with the fans that are saying Islam is going to destroy him? And by the way, where? Where in the hell is he going to destroy him? Oh, he's going to destroy him on the ground. Why? Well, he destroyed Charles Oliveira on the ground. Come on, man. What's that got to do with anything? And you really never know who was destroyed on the ground, by the way. I mean, I will just tell you that. You really don't know. Because you don't know what the technique was, what the position was, the superiority was, versus what the fatigue was. That's the one thing you do not know as the viewer. Your lion eyes will tell you somebody got on top and destroyed someone else. You don't know if that guy was ready to hit the showers. And that's a massive part about what this sport is. I'm trying to break your will and you're trying to break mine. As your will starts to break, kind of find yourself to the ground and you find a guy passing guard. I mean, I'm just sharing with you. You don't always know what you're looking at. And if Islam is going to go and destroy him on the ground, how's he going to get him there? Think they're going to start on the ground? Do you think, because we got to compare him to people, do you think that Charles is a equal or better wrestler than Volkanovski? I would love to have that conversation. I love common opponent. I love that debate. Because I have watched a real bad boy named Justin Gaethje be real polite about Volkanovski coming up. It surprised me to a degree. I watched a real bad boy named Charles Oliveira not make a sound when Volkanovski came up. I mean, they really do appear to see something and think that an opportunity should be given, but that doesn't reconcile with a 3-1 spread to Islam. And Islam being a 3-1 favorite does not reconcile with Volkanovski being the number one ranked fighter in the world. Now, I don't expect any of you to have these answers. I think common opponent would be fun. I think we can have some real fun there. And where is it that Volkanovski gets his ass kicked? I mean, I really do have to back up to that. On the ground, you're just sold on the submission skills. Okay. But could you at least meet me on the other side? That I'm arguing part of what you see on the ground isn't skill. It has to do with fatigue and will. And can we admit, can we agree, based on what we've seen Volkanovski do with part 2 and Max and the entirety of Brian Ortega, that he has an iron will? Can we agree on that? Can we agree that we don't believe that he's going to fatigue? Can we agree that while people continue to believe the smaller guy will be controlled on the ground, time after time after time, almost to an absolute, the lighter guy is in better shape than the bigger guy? Can we concede that when they get to the ground, he's moving a little wiry, moving just a little bit faster, it's a little harder to get there, it's a little bit quicker on his feet, it's throwing a little bit more activity? Can we concede to that? Because how are you going to get a guy on the ground? How are you going to keep him there if he's not ready to go? Anyone who's done this sport that was to be open and honest with you, you don't go to the ground and then get done until you're ready to go. What part of Volkanovski do you think is going to give up? How's he going to get in there? Can Islam just take him down? I mean, now you've got 2 realms, right? I would like to hear it ahead of time. If you're positive that Islam can dominate Volk on the ground, fine. But are you positive he can get him there? And if your answer is yes, then speak up and let's get the rankings changed. There's no reason that Volk should be at number 1. He overtook Kamaru without Kamaru being beat. I mean, there's really good reason that he should be the best. If that's wrong and you're sure that Islam can not only beat him on the ground, he can also get him there. Well, now we just beat him in both realms. You have to punch and kick and knee and elbow with the guy. Do something on your feet better than him. Do something on the ground better than him. It doesn't matter if it's takedowns and control. But let's fix the ranking. Let's reconcile. These things are not going together. Do you understand what we have in our hand? I mean, truly, do you understand? This isn't just Islam. This isn't just Dagestan and Khabib versus New Zealand, Adesanya and Hooker and the boys. It's not just 45 versus 55. It's not just champion versus champion. There's more at stake. Your opinion is at stake because you've been very vocal with it. And you haven't been on the fence. You've been, man, this is a great fight. This is the fight to make. Whoo, boy, whoo. We're probably going to get some rounds here. They're probably going to go back and forth. None of you have said that. You're all sure. You're all real sure. But that doesn't go in line with the rankings committee or the pollsters, the people that are paid in a position every morning at 9 a.m. every Tuesday to get it right. It just doesn't reconcile. Somebody's wrong. And all of those things are at stake, and nobody's getting a slide here. This isn't just champion versus champion or New Zealand versus Dagestan. Everybody's getting put in check here. DraftKings will get put in check, but they're going to bet it with their money. They'll make right that night. Somebody in the pollster room is either right or they're not. They've had 4 weeks to correct it. They haven't done it. They've got another 3 months. Let's see if they do it. I don't begrudge them at all, but we're going to call all these things out. There's a lot more on the line here than just Volk versus Islam.